Okay, course 2, here we go. Lesson 87, multiplying algebraic terms. Don't get scared. Remember or recall, when adding like terms, the variable did not change. However, if we multiply, all the factors in the multiplied terms appear in the product. Okay, so here we go. Here's an example. 3x times 2x actually means 3 times x times 2 times x. Now we can use our commutative and do 3 times 2 times x. We can then group them with our associative property, 3 times 2 times x, then just simplify it. What is that? Well, that's 6. How many x's? 2. So it's 6x squared. That's really pretty easy, right? Now, terms may be multiplied even if they're not like terms. For example, this one. Negative 2x times negative 3y. First of all, you're just going to multiply the numbers. So negative 2 and negative 3 would be positive 6. And then gather your terms. You have x and a y. So it's 6xy. So let's break it down. How about if we have negative 3x squared y times 2x times negative 4xy. Oh my goodness, don't get scared. Here we go. If you drew it all out, it would be negative 3 times x times y, right? Because I have two x's and one y, times positive 2 times x, because I only have the one x, times negative 4 times x times y, because again I only have one of those. Now, let's gather our whole numbers together, and we have negative 3 times positive 2 would be negative 6 times negative 4 is going to be positive 24. And then let's just count up our x's. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, so x to the fourth, and we have 2 y's, so y to the second. See, that's really very easy, don't you think? I think so. All right, if I can turn the page, I'll show you some more stuff. All right, here we go. We have negative 2xb times ax. Negative 2ab times a squared b times 3b to the third power. So when multiplying the exponents, we just add them. So I want you to think negative 2 times 3, that would be negative 6. And add the variables. You have 1a plus 2 more a's, so that would be a cubed. Then add variable for b. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the total answer would be negative 6a3b5. Easy. Now, what if we have factors that are raised to a power? The exponent is on the outside of our parentheses. Then you have to remember that this exponent applies to all of these numbers. So if you break that down, it would be like 3 squared, x squared, y squared. Well, 3 squared is 9, x squared, y squared. That was an easy one. Okay, so now how about this? Now I'm going to have exponents inside that are raised to another power. So I have 3x squared y cubed, and all of that squared. So this is a term that includes the exponent and raised to a power. So we're going to multiply everything by this power. All right? So if you were to break it down again, it would be 3 squared, I'm taking that out, squaring it, x squared and squared, x squared and squared, y cubed and squared, y cubed and squared. Now to figure it out, I'm just going to multiply my exponents. So 3 squared would be 9. 2 times 2 is 4, so that'd be x to the fourth power. 2 times 3 is 6, so that'd be y to the sixth power. See, it's not so bad. It really isn't. Here, we're going to do another example. Here we have negative 3a squared b cubed, all of that is squared. So you can think of it as writing this problem twice. Negative 3a squared b cubed times negative 3a squared b cubed. And that's going to be, if you break it down even farther, you take that whole number, negative 3, take that out, and then how many a's do I have? I have 2. How many b's do I have? I have 3. So it's negative 3aabb times negative 3aabb. All right? So now multiply. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. How many a's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a4. How many b's do I have? 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. So b6. Or, if you don't want to do all this breaking down, you can just use the exponent rules that we just went over. where you remember that this is going to apply to each term. So break it apart. You got negative 3 squared, a squared squared, b cubed squared. I'm just going to multiply. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. A, 2 times 2 is 4, so that's to the 4th. B, 3 times 2 is 6, so that'd be b to the 6th. We get the same thing. It's just how does your brain want to work it. All right, now I want you to copy each one of these as we do them, all right? We're going to multiply this. So I multiply negative 3x times negative 2xy. Well, what's negative 3 and negative 2? It's going to be a positive 6. Yep, let's see if I can get my pen to work again. All right, so we have 6. And then we have how many x's? 1, 2. So 6x squared. How many y's? Only 1. Bam, that's the answer. Not difficult. All right, how about this one? We have 3x squared times xy cubed. Now remember, you can think of this as 1, right? So I'm going to multiply that, excuse me, and I'm going to get 3. How many x's do I have now? 3. X cubed. How many y's? 3. So y cubed. All right, here we go. 2a squared times negative 3ab cubed. Okay? 2 times negative 3 is what? Negative 6. That is correct. How many a's do I have? Well, I have 2 here and I have 1 there, so I have a cubed. How many b's do I have? Oh, b cubed. All right? So far, so good? All right. Let's do a few more. Now they're going to get a little more difficult. And so we're going to go slowly. All right, so I have negative 4x times negative 5x squared y. All right, well, what's negative 4 and negative 5? You can do it. That would be 20. All right, here we go. 20. How many x's do I have? 1, 2, 3. So x cubed. How many y's? Just the 1. There, that's my answer. How about this one? Negative xy squared times xy times 2y. Well, 2 times negative 1, remember this is like a negative 1, would be what? Negative 2. How many x's do I have? 1, 2. So I have x squared. How many y's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be y to the 4th. Okay? Now, now we have, just adding a little more. Here we go. Negative 3m times negative 2mn times m squared n. So just do our numbers. Negative 3 times negative 2 is what? Positive 6. That is correct. Now let's just count our m's. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6m to the 4th. How many n's do I have? 1, 2, n squared. Are you getting it? Okay, we're going to do some more. 4wy times 3wx times negative w to the 2nd times x squared y. Whew! All right. 4 times 3 is 12 times negative 1 would be what? Negative 12. Now let's just count up our w's. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 12, W4. How many y's do I have? 1, 2. So y squared. And how many x's do I have? 1, 2, 3. X cubed. Now, probably the book would really want you to put them in order from greatest exponent to least. So they would probably want you to do this, x3 and y2. Okay? All right. 5d times negative 2df times negative 3d squared fg. Oy, oy, oy. What are we going to do? We're going to multiply our numbers. 5 times negative 2 is what? Negative 10 times negative 3 would be positive 30. And let's count our d's. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 d's. So I'm going to negative 30d to the 4th. How many F's? 1, 2. So F squared. How many G's? Just one. Bam. Okay? Not too hard. All right, here we have the exponent, and it's all raised to a power. So remember what we're going to do. We're going to distribute that power to here, here, and here. So you could do it two ways. In fact, the book will ask you to do it two ways. So the first way we'll just write it all out twice. So 3xy cubed times the same thing, 3xy cubed, right? So then that would be like 3 times x times y times y times y times 3, here we can put this in parentheses too so your mind doesn't explode, times x. And what the book does is instead of putting the little multiplication sign, we're just going to write the letters right next to each other, which means multiply. Alright, so now 3 times 3 is what? 9. How many x's do I have? 1, 2. So 9x squared. How many y's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So y 6. Or we could have done it this way. 3 squared would equal 9. X squared, okay, that's just x squared. And then y would be 3 times 2, which is 6. Same answer, just done a little differently. So here's your assignment. You're going to do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. And then you are going to have that done before class. Then you're going to do 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 28, 29, and 30. All right? Try to have those done before class, and I will see you in class. Bye-bye.